Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Art of Violence. I wanted to talk about the Karate Combat event that happened recently with Joe Schilling and Luke Rockhold. I made a video breaking that fight. If you guys want to see it, check out my channel, or maybe I'll link it below. Props to Luke. Finally won something. But I made a video, or I wanted to make a video talking about the event. Now, I saw a video recently on Craig Jones, who's one of the best grapplers in the world, super funny guy, talking about what the Karate Combat organization is like, and how it's like this crazy circus show where there's all these different celebrities, and there's like girls dancing with fire hula hoops, and then there's like midgets running around, and then like there's all these different fighters that are crazy characters, and it's just like this big circus show of, you know, craziness and uniqueness happening all at once. A lot of enigma. And I watched like 4 or 5 fights and saw how they roll things out, how they introduce people, how they announce things, how the production works. And I gotta say, I see what he means. I see exactly what he means. It's kind of like this circus freak show that's just meant to grab your attention. And it doesn't do a bad job. It doesn't do a bad job. It's super interesting. It kind of has like that bare knuckle feel of like, this is like, again, like the circus is in town, but it's like, it's more of like an actual circus. Like just like from the pit that they fight in, which is like this weird, like half octagon where it's like, let's see if I can put some pictures. Like there's all these like, the pit like it's all these like little mountains that slope down, and then it's like this actual big pit with pads where they fight in, and the fighters have to start on the corner, and they hop down, and in between rounds they hop back up. It's super crazy, and it makes it really interesting. It makes you feel like you're there because there's no fence blocking anything. You can see them clearly. And the main announcer, I forget what his name is, but he's an MMA commentator, and he's like the main announcer who announces what's going on in between the fights, like who won. He kind of does what Bruce Buffer does, but he does like an improvised version where he doesn't plan it, and he gives like little synopses of how each fight went and like what's going to happen in the next fight. I'll try to post it down below. I think it's Robin Black, and he gives like little breakdowns of what happened after the fight, but it's all improvised. There's nothing like it's not written out or planned. You can tell by the way he talks about it, because sometimes he kind of stumbles or messes up, and at the end of the Luke Rockhold fight, he was talking about what happened, telling a story of how Joe fought and how Luke fought, and then Luke walks up and like gives him a kiss on the cheek, and he's like, "Oh, it's great to be kissed by a handsome man." And he's wearing like this super flashy like diamond encrusted blazer, and it's just this crazy like like it's just like this well organized freak show. Like it's interesting and kind of funny, but also kind of cool. And you know, they're also doing something cool where they're making the events free on YouTube, which is, I think, exactly what they should be doing if they can't command enough pay-per-views. And it's, I think they're making some good moves. It's interesting because, like, somewhere like Bare Knuckle, it's very much a circus in the sense of, like, a lot of guys are just taking, like, one-off fights. It's a lot of failed MMA fighters and UFC fighters who couldn't make it in the UFC, so now they're taking 1 or 2 last fights to get that final paycheck in, and then they're bouncing. And you could say the same kind of with Karate Combat, but Karate Combat guys can actually make more of a career out of it, because it's, you know, they don't have to worry about breaking their fists, not as much damage, they have gloves, but it's also not as much damage as something like boxing, because the fighters get knocked out quicker because of the MMA gloves. It's funny, you'd think that would result in like more damage, but as far as brain damage, usually results in less, because the boxing gloves are bigger, so a fighter can take more of a beating. When the gloves are smaller, they get knocked out quicker, so it's less of a beating. It's kind of weird, but it's true. But yeah, it's just this like, it's like a well-organized freak show. And like when Luke Rockhold won, he grabbed like a little midget from the audience, was like walking around the arena with him, and like right after he won, there was this guy in the audience who was like, he just starts cussing out. He's like, "F you, F this," and the guy's cussing him out too. And you hear him and Luke going back and forth. It was crazy. Like, especially the way they film it, you're like right there with them. It's a very interesting organization, and I don't really know. I don't really know how it's going to go, if it's going to stand the test of time. But it's like, it's one of those events where, like, if there's nothing else going on, you definitely want to tune in. Because, like, if there's not any big UFC fights or big boxing fights, like, this is probably one of the best uses of your time you could use or spend as a fight fan. If, like, nothing else huge is going on. Maybe someday that'll change. Maybe people will be tuning into karate combat events over big MMA fights. I doubt it, but it's a really interesting sport. And again, it's karate. It's like a modified karate with MMA gloves. And it's like a more of a kickboxing. It's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's so weird. It's like a karate, I guess more kind of a karate rule set, sort of, but with more like a kickboxing influence. But the way the fights play out, it's very much more of an actual kickboxing style. But you can't, like, there's weird things like you can't calf kick, or like, I think you can't, like, kick the quads, but you can kick the shins. It's a bunch of weird rules. And, like, they stop the fights for weird reasons. And, like, you can grapple, but you can't grapple too much. It's like this very interesting thing that happens. I don't really even know how to explain it that well. I probably need to look into it more, but yeah, it's a bit of an enigma. And it's like you watch it and you're like, I don't really know what I'm watching, but, like, it's interesting. And that dude just got knocked the F out, and that was crazy. And I kind of want to see the next fight. Like, it's very weird, but I gotta say, it's, they're definitely doing some things that are right over there. And I think if they improve the rule sets and do different things like that, get bigger fighters in there, you know, it's pretty fan friendly, and pretty easy to understand too, for being kickboxing. Usually the more sophisticated a striking art is, the harder it is to understand, but it's pretty easy to understand. And, there's no elbows, no knees, I don't believe. So that's where it's more like kickboxing, and then karate, because some of the rule sets are more karate. And, but then the pants are like these karate pants. So I don't even know, man. I don't even know, but it's definitely fascinating, and it'd be interesting to maybe go to one someday. And then the array, the different, like, just plethora of people from different backgrounds they have. You'll see, like, celebrities and, like, dancers and, like, all these ex-fighters and just people from, like, all these different backgrounds in the crowd and audience. And they're having it in all these crazy places. They had one of the events in the president's backyard. It's this new guy who's their president. They actually had the event in his backyard. It's like a big house in Miami, so he could do that. They had this one in Dubai, but the pit gives it a different feel. Again, I'll put some pictures. Like, you really can see the fighters fighting from the TV, and I would imagine from the audience, without any, like, interruption. It's a really cool, I'd say it's like one of the best viewer friendly, like, fighting arenas that there is. It is weird when they get against the pit, like the walls of it, because, like, then they have to, like, maneuver around it. Sometimes they can walk and run off on it, run off it. Kind of like how Anthony Pettis ran off the cage and hit Benson Henderson, that MMA epic moment in history. Like, it's a weird thing, but I'm curious to see where the organization goes. I think it'll actually be more successful than something like BKFC in the long run, but maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So anyways, just wanted to make a video about it. Let me know what you guys think about karate combat. Do you guys like it? Do you not like it? Do you see the same things I'm seeing? Do you think it's weird? Also, they have grappling tournaments in the middle. Like, they have Craig Jones and Nicky Rod and other high-level grapplers grappling in between the kickboxing karate fights. It's crazy. It's it's just like, let's throw together all this weird, like, all these different things that kind of make no sense and put them into somewhat of a cohesive whole that somewhat makes sense and is entertaining. So, super interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like it? Have you seen it? What do you think? Do you get what I'm saying about kind of being a circus freak show that also makes sense? Do you not like it? Do you think it'll stand the test of time? Would you want to go to an event? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm curious. I'll link the Luke Rockhold and Joe Schilling breakdown in the comments below. Check that out. If not, or also go watch the fight. And yeah, let me know what you guys think overall. So, my name is Angelo. This is The Art of Violence. If you liked the video, consider subscribing. Consider clicking the like button if you liked it. If not, Don't worry about it. You can tell me what an idiot I am in the comments. I'd love to hear it and chat with you. I respond to every single comment. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Art of Violence, we out.